Hello friends, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Ray, and this is a segment called Ray DHD Reads, where we talk about everything books and reading. So today we are discussing my highly anticipated thriller books that are going to be released between August and October of this year. So first we're starting off with Hot Wax by M.L. Rio. So this is a book that starts off following a main character who is 10 years old in the late 80s. She witnesses something awful. So she spends the next couple decades of her life trying to lay low and disappear. However, her father suddenly dies, and this takes her on a road trip across the country, I believe, in search of answers. However, there's someone hot on her trail the whole time, determined to stop her from finding out the truth. And it just sounds like it's going to be very fast-paced, very exciting. I love the cover. It's giving me like 80s rock and roll vibes. I'm here for it. And yeah, I've never read anything from this author. I know that they wrote If We Were Villains, and I've heard a lot of people review that, so I have high expectations. Next we have 640 to Montreal by Eva Jersic. And I got excited because this is set in Canada, and I find not a lot of books are. So basically this follows an author who needs to get some work done on a new book. So her husband buys her a train ticket. It's about 6 hours long for a trip from Toronto to Montreal. However, the train ends up breaking down in the middle of the woods, and one of her seatmates ends up just dying right there. So basically, the premise of the book is they're stuck in the middle of nowhere, and they don't know if they're going to survive. They don't know who's next, if their person who died was intentionally unalived. So there's suspense with that. So I am excited to see where this book goes. The blurb really doesn't give a lot away, and I haven't really read any thrillers that are set on trains, so I'm excited to see what happens. We have Breathe In, Bleed Out by Brian McCauley. So this follows a girl who is quite traumatized after she went on a trip in the wilderness with her partner. No one knows how he died except her, and that's something she's keeping to herself, but he was unalived on this trip. That's what I'm assuming from what I'm reading. So she ends up signing up for a spiritual wellness retreat, and she takes part in, yoga, spiritual cleansing, healing, sound baths, all that jazz. And then suddenly the participants at the retreat start being unalived one by one. So, I mean, it's the kind of trope we've seen before where people are getting picked off one by one, but I like it. I think it's going to be quite fun. I think it's going to be fast-paced. It's got 4.38 stars out of 222 ratings on Goodreads, and of course there's not going to be that many ratings as it hasn't been released yet. So I'm excited to check it out. I haven't read a book that takes place at a wellness retreat, so that'll be something new as well. We have We Are All Guilty Here by Karen Slaughter. I have not read any books from Karen Slaughter, but I have heard a lot of my booktubers rave about her books, so I'm really excited to read this. It's got 4.4 stars on Goodreads. So the blurb says, "Welcome to North Falls, a small town where everyone knows everyone, or so they think. Until the night of the fireworks, when two teenage girls vanish and the town ignites. For Officer Emmy Clifton, it's personal. She turned away when her best friend's daughter needed help, and now she must bring her home. As Emmy combs through the puzzle the girls left behind, she realizes she never really knew them. Nobody did. Every teenage girl has secrets, but who would kill for them and what else is the town hiding. So again, seems like a pretty generic plot, but I am excited to read my first Karen Slaughter book and let y'all know what I think. Next we have the October Film Haunt by Michael Wehunt. So the premise of this book, it follows a woman who, when she was quite a bit younger, her and her friends, they would hang out where famous horror movies had been filmed, and they would vlog about it. And then apparently something horrible happens and they put an end to this. Years later, she's an adult, but she ends up getting a videotape sent to her, which indicates someone's been filming her. And she starts to get the inkling that she might be the final girl in someone's horror film. So this book is marketed as a thriller / horror. So I have a feeling it's gonna get into slasher territory. Again, the blurb doesn't give us a lot to go off of, but I haven't read any books with this type of plot, so I am definitely excited to see how I like it. So we have The Locked Ward by Sarah Buchanan. I hope I'm saying that right. So this follows a woman who is committed to a psychiatric facility, a locked facility, for unaliving a member of her adoptive family, I believe. And while she's there, her twin sister visits her often, and she insists that she is innocent, that's all a setup, and there's all these dark family secrets that the sister doesn't know about. So basically, it seems like the plot of the book is the twin sister has to figure out whether to believe her sister or accept that her sister is truly unhinged and did unalive this girl. So I love any book set in a psychiatric facility, so I am here for that. And I'm excited to see how I like this. It's got a 3.8 on Goodreads, so not too shabby. So this might be the one I'm most excited for. Too Old for This by Samantha Downing. So this is about a retired serial killer called Lottie Jones. She's now a senior citizen, and she's been living quietly, going to bingo, knitting, hanging out with the ladies and gossiping, what old ladies do, just living an unassuming life, when there's a knock on her door from a journalist asking a bunch of questions about some of the unalivings that she did many, many decades ago. If that's not enough to upend her life, she gets another mysterious knock on the door. We don't know who it is, but it says that she realizes the crime might just be the death of her. So I'm really curious to see what's on the other side of that door. Maybe someone has something on her. Maybe there's someone out to get her. I don't know. I like the trope of a retired serial killer, especially when it's this unassuming, sweet old lady. 4.4 stars on Goodreads, so when that's released in August, I'm going to be diving into that. So that was my anticipated thrillers list for August to October of this year. I hope that you guys are equally excited for at least some of these books. Leave me some recommendations down below of any other thrillers I might have missed that are coming out in the upcoming months. And as always, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe.